Hey guys, before you watch the video, I just wanted to tell you that the next few videos that I'm recording, I am at the moment taking my hair out. So if you hear like any like struggling and stuff like that, don't be alarmed. It's not nothing weird going on in the background. I'm just struggling to take out my hair. I have braids, and trust me, for those who have box braids, you know how long it takes to take these things out. So yeah, if you hear me struggling in the background, like doing a lot of like, like, just know I'm taking out braids. I'm not doing anything weird. So, yes, you have been warned. Hope you enjoyed the review. Hello, everybody. My name is Kamar, and today we will be checking out season 1, episode 10 of Bubble Guppies, aka our second half starting this season. Today's episode is Fishketball. In this episode, the Bubble Guppies practice bouncing, throwing, catching, and playing together as a team to prepare for a game of Fishketball. Now, this episode, I really do like it. You know, I am a basketball is my favorite sport. I mean, it does kind of speak to me. As a kid, I loved it, but like over time, I noticed that some places in the episode get kind of slow, but that's okay, you know. But that's not gonna stop me from not giving this episode a decent rating. So, all right. So the episode starts of Gil swimming in school, and then he sees these two little fishies playing with the bubble, and we along with that this is the only rare time in the show that we see other little fishes that are not like the orange color. We see one purple one, I think one blue, I could be wrong, correct me if I'm wrong. And we also see the same fish who's blowing the bubble to them from the episode The Crayon Prix. And then Gil asks what are they doing, and then he wants to play with them. And it turns out they're playing a game called Volley Bubble, which is really cute. You know, volleyball, volley bubble, which is really cute. And then after playing a couple rounds with them, he asks the fishes if he can take a bubble with him to school to show his friends. And then the fish blows it to him, and then and on his way to school, he's blowing the little bubble. And then when we get into the classroom, he does the 1, 2, 3, and then pop, and then he says volley bubble because that's how you play. I forgot to mention that. And then the look on everybody's faces. I'm sorry, along with the music in the background, they're looking at him like, what, like what is he talking about? Like, and then Dima and Una, they're like, volley what? The bubble popped, and then Gil says he wishes that the bubble didn't pop so that they could play some more. And then they think that they should play with a ball. But then they ask what kind of ball could they play with. And then we get to the question segment about the different type of balls there are. And then we have our pop song, which is Choose the Right Ball, which I really loved that song as a kid, and I still kind of do, you know? Like, it's really, really catchy. And this is the first time in the series where Chris Phillips sings for Mr. Grouper. Sorry. And then we have our shop segment, which is Ball Bazaar. And we have Dima, and Molly wants a big blue basketball. A big blue basketball. Like, I swear. I have a core memory where my mom was one time greasing my hair to go to my grandma's house, and then this episode was on, and then we couldn't stop doing that when it was in that part of the episode. And then it was just so catchy. And then the little fish joined in, and then Molly and Gail joined in, and then me and my mother joined in. Like, it was really, really fun. So then, I'm sorry. And then a little crab showed up. He's like, a small blue basketball, a small blue basketball. And then Dima says, bizarre. And then we have our lunch joke, which is spaghetti and baseballs by Nani. And then we cut to a Molly and Gil segment, and Gil has this like machine that can like have like different pop out different balls. First it's Molly then presses it. First is a soccer ball, then it's a baseball, and then the third time there's a meatball, and then it splatters right on his face, on Gil's face, and then Oh man, it's really funny. It's funny how it's really ironic because the previous segment literally had meatballs in it, which is oh man. And then we cut out to the out we cut out to the they're playing outside, and then everybody's playing with their balls and stuff, doing their own thing. I don't know if it was Dima or Una, but one of them was on the swing, and then the ball was like right next to them, which I used to do that a lot as a kid. I think this episode made me do that, which is really really cute. And then we have um Gil giving Nani the ball, and then it turns out Nani doesn't know how to catch. And then Gil tries a couple of tries of how to direct Nani into catching the ball. And then he tells him to put your arms out, um, put your arms out and keep your eyes on the ball. And then Nani says he'll never know how to catch the ball. And then Mr. Grouper, he he has the little fish make like a little net for a little net to show all the other guppies how to get the ball through the hoop. And then they decide that it's kind of like basketball except with fish. And then Nani thinks of Fishketball, which can I think of any perfect underwater equivalent name for basketball. And then all the other guppies need to think about how they're going to play. Mr. Cooper said that's up to them. And then we have a question segment about how what can you do with a ball? You could bounce it, you could catch it, you could throw it. And then we have our dance song, the ball dance, which is pretty fun, It's pretty fun. I feel like it's a bit too quick. I'm not really sure why. Maybe that's just me. And then we have our story segment, which is the pirate ball, and Una and Dima are pretending to be pirates, and they have to every single time they lose their ball, they decide to play with the ball. The ball hog keeps on taking their ball away from them, and then they decide to teach the ball hog how to share, and then like there's this moment where like they're teaching the ball hog how to share, and then he doesn't want to give him the ball. He doesn't want to give Una the ball, and then they're like and then Dima has the audience tell him to pass the ball hog, and then he finally throws the ball, and then they all become good friends, and the ball hog learns how to share. Pretty quick story segment, but like I said in my very first review, season one stories are they're kind of weak here and there, but that doesn't mean they're not good. But and I like how when we come back to Molly and Gil, Molly says, "That's nice. You taught the ball hog how to share," which that means the guppies are aware of the stories that they tell. Like I don't know if like the other guppies watch like off screen, but I don't know. It's kind of something to think about, but we won't get into that today. And then we have Gil passing Molly the ball, and then we have Mr. Grouper telling them, "Let's play Fishketball." And then there's this whole stadium, and then there's this lobster, and we get to see Clam again. And then we have Dima and Gobi and Bubble Puppy as cheerleaders. I'm still kind of stumped. I'm still kind of confused of why they kind of needed like they already had their audience. I kind of get the cheerleader aspect on the sidelines because that happens again in the Elephant Trunk Dunk in season 3, but at the same time the other guppies was just sitting on the sidelines. They didn't participate. But that's okay. That's okay. And then the game and then everybody's presenting the guppies. The guppies that are playing are Molly, Una, Nani, and Gil. And then and then Nani's still kind of worried about what if he won't be able to catch the ball. And then Gil just directs him once again. Keep your eyes on the ball and keep your hands out. And I like the little detail on how they I like how their little high five equivalent. Like instead of high fiving, sometimes I think they high five on very rare occasions, but they like fin slap each other, which is really cute. And then the game goes as planned, and I like that scene where Una misses, but I like how Nani says, Una, sorry, Molly says, "Nice try, Una," and she says, "Thank you," which proves that I like the show for doing that instead of having somebody be upset that they didn't make a shot, they like Una took it like a pro. She just like shrugged it off, which I like that, you know? And then it's up to Nani. It's up to Nani. And then Nani finally catches the ball and he's so happy. And then the school of fish is like right next to him. And I like the little fish who was like, "Shoot the ball, Nani." And then he finally throws the ball in the hoop and then well, he wins the game for them. And I like how they're chanting his name. And then they're like picking him up and down, up and down. They're like cheering for him. And then on the and then when Nani's getting interviewed, he's like, Clem asks, "How'd you do it?" And then he said, I kept my eyes on the ball and kept put my hands out. My friend Gil helped me," which is really, really nice. You know, I'm happy to. I'm not saying he would. I'm so happy that Nani isn't the one to take all the credit. Like he put most of the credit on Gil, which is very, very nice. You know, that proves that they're good friends, very good friends. You know, and then, well, that ends the field trip segment. And then we have our last Molly and Gil segment. And then I'm telling you, Gil's reaction to the whole Fishketball experience. I'm not gonna say what he did or said at the end, but I'm gonna just tell you this. It had me dying on the floor as a kid, and I couldn't stop replaying it over and over and over again. So, yeah, I'm so sorry. His reaction was so funny. And that ends Fishketball. So overall, I think this episode was it was pretty good. It's kind of slow in a couple of spaces, like, you know, it was kind of slow, but at the same time, I feel like it was really fun. No, it was really good. So I'll give this episode I'll give it a 7. You know, it wasn't the best. It wasn't perfect, but it was still a good episode. I will say that. And I feel like, you know, it was a decent way to start off our second half of this season, you know? It was decent. And luckily, next episode is another one of my personal favorites, and also is a Dima-centric episode. So tune into our next episode, as we will be reviewing season 1, episode 11, The Legend of Pinkfoot. See you all next time.